Let's do this. Before we get started, make some noise if you're from Denver. Make some noise if you're from Denver. Okay. All right, make some noise if you're not from Denver. That's the reason I can't buy a house right there. That's it. No, I was born and raised in Denver, and whenever I tell people that, they're like, "Oh, you're from there?" I was like, "But I was born and raised here." People always say the same thing to me. They go, "Where were you when weed got legalized?" That's what people say to me. They go, "Where were you the day weed got legalized?" They say like it was 9/11. They're like, "Where were you the day weed got legalized?" And I was like, "I was in middle school, you know, selling weed," but it really messed up my business when it comes to my profits. I'm so happy y'all are here. I think it's a good time to laugh. You know, the world's crazy. Everything's on fire. Places are snowing where it's not supposed. Everything is backwards right now. I don't care who you vote for. We're not going to talk about politics. But the fact that today I learned that you could just rename an entire Gulf, I didn't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Donald Trump said he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I didn't even know you could do that. And here's the thing. I was thinking about it, and I was like, you can't do that. Someone was like, no, you can. And I was like, we can just rename shit? That's so cool. Like, I don't care who you vote, but I'm like, that's a gangster move, Donald Trump, just to go, nah, this shit's America now. And then if you actually watch the interview, in the second half of the interview, you know what he said in the second half of the interview? Someone was like, what do you think about the Indian Oceans? He was like, I'll just let the two of them fight, and whichever one is the better Indian gets... That's not true, but it's fun. It's fun to say. It's fun to say. I know people like talking about people thinking like, oh, it's left, it's right. It's not. We're all just regular people. We're all just trying to figure it out together. You know, I work in a middle school. I'm an environmental educator in the middle school, and fuck them kids. I'm kidding. No. I love my students. I have to say that. I do. I love my students. No, but I work in a middle school, and middle schoolers are the most progressive people I've ever met. But they're also like still middle schoolers, right? They go on like this spectrum, and it's fun to watch. Like one of my students is one of the sweetest girls I've ever met, right? She was walking down the hallway, another student was walking in front of her, and she goes, "Hey, what are your pronouns?" And this kid goes, "He, him," and she just goes, "Nah, you a bitch," and just walks. And I was like, damn, Jamal, I guess you're just a bitch now, man. Like, I didn't even know that was one of the options. You know, I've been misgendering you this whole time. But then I was teaching my students about birds. We're learning about birds this semester, and I was teaching one of my students about birds, and I was talking about how my grandfather was a biologist. He studied birds, which is why I fell in love with nature, and I study birds, right? And from the back of the class, the same girl just goes, "Gay!" And I was like, she is 2 for 2 today. She is. But also, I'm a kid of the 90s. I grew up in the 90s, so call some gay, it was just funny to me. I was like, you're right. I am. Okay, I shouldn't have shared my feelings. I should lock it down. You know, I shouldn't have done that. That's fun. I like hearing praise. You know, I was born and raised here. I wanted to be tough. She called me gay. I was like, I want to be a tough guy. You know, I don't have that in me. You know, you guys can hear me. You guys hear my voice. This is what I sound like. I try to be tough. I try to overcome. I just tried to jump at y'all and it didn't work. You know, like one time I was driving a car with my best friend and this car cut us off and I said out loud in the car, I was like, oh, geez Louise. And my friend was like, what'd you say? I was like, geez Louise, cuz. Like I tried to make it. We did get out of the car and I was like, let's skedaddle. Have you ever skedaddled? It is my favorite white person activity. I love a good skedaddle because it's just a joyous white trot to the next location. It means no worries. It's my Hakuna Matata. I do it. I was also at a work event one time, and this older white lady, there was like a bunch of white people, and this older white lady was standing in the back, right? And she was trying to leave, but she was passing behind me, and as she passes behind me, she whispers, she goes, "I'm gonna sneak right past you." Oh my God. You ever have an old lady go, "I'm gonna sneak right past you," on the back of your neck? I got immediately hard. I got so hard. I was like, "You better stop, Dolores. You better stop. I will dick you down in this Hilton if you don't quit playing with me." Knock the dust off. Okay, I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have said it. All right, let's see how cool you guys are. Let's see how cool you guys are. I care about our environment a lot. You know, it's what I study. It's what I love. I care about climate change. And one time this guy asked me, he goes, "Do you care about climate change more or racism more?" And I was like, "I'm just here to get my oil changed. I don't know why." And I think I was like, "I care about climate change more than I care about racism." You know, and he goes, "Well, why?" And I was like, "Because one of those things affects me every day and I'm used to it. The other thing affects a lot of people. And I don't want other people to have to deal with that, right?" And you guys don't know which one, which is funny. But I do. I would much rather someone call me like a nigga, but with clean air. Than someone be like, "Hey, this is a safe space, but don't drink the water." You know, like there's I care about climate change so much more than racism. Like I actually go to Klan meetings and try to convince the Klan. Dude, I go to Klan meetings. I go, "Hey guys, thanks for having me. Don't you want your great grandkids to hate my great grandkids for no reason?" I'm like, "You guys are conservative, let's conserve some shit, you know?" I'm like making up facts. I'm like, "The sun's hotter, it's gonna make more black people." That's not what y'all want, right? Let's find the solution to a problem. All right, fuck it, let's do it. One time I was in this meeting and I was with one of my like board members, and we were just talking. It was the end of the day, and he's a big white dude, beard, cool, like a beaver hat, like a hunting hat that has like, I don't know, has like antlers and shit coming out of it. And at the end of the meeting, he comes up to me, right? He comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Eeland, I really enjoyed talking to you." I was like, "Oh, you know, good to talk to you, Dan." And he goes, "You know what? You're one of the good ones." Yeah, he meant that I'm one of the good black people. Like I'm not. Well, some of you are like, "You can't say that." No, you can't. Some of you are surprised. I was offended at first. I was like, "Oh, thanks, man," because I was just trying to get out of there. But I was driving home and I'm like, "One of the good ones? I don't want to be one of the good ones. I want to be one of the bad. Fuck you." Like I was like, if I'm one of the good ones to you, that means I'm a bad black, and I don't want to be, because being black isn't a spectrum, it's just what you are. But then I was thinking, I was like, if I told a white person that they're one of the good ones, you know how excited white people would get? If I was like, "Hey, you're one of the good ones," you guys would be like, I am. No one's told me that enough. I am. You guys are great. I do have an adult lady live-in girlfriend person. We've been together a long time. We've been together so long that she wants to spice up our dating life, or that part of our relationship, she wants to like spice it up. And I was like, "Babe, what do you want to do?" She's like, "We should go to a bar and pretend like we don't know each other, right? We should like be strangers." And I was like, "I would love a couple hours of silence." So I left the house, right? And she follows me to the bar, and we're at the bar, and I'm at the bar having a drink, watching the game. I don't see my girlfriend, but I feel her come up to me. I don't see her, but I can feel her energy, right? And she comes up to me, she says, "Hey, I saw you from across the bar. I thought you were kind of cute. What's your name?" And I was like, "Ma'am, I have a fucking girlfriend. Okay, can you please?" Here we go. You guys ready to get this comedy show going?